Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to the 757 Renaissance Man podcast. I hope everybody's having a great day today. I came to bring you somebody very special that's doing a lot of good works in the 757 area. Ms. Nola Ransom-Shoulders. How are you doing today, ma'am?
I'm doing good. How are you doing today?
I'm awesome. Hopefully this rain holds out for a little while, but besides that, yeah, we're doing pretty good.
Oh yeah. It's been nasty.
Yeah, and hot. Either nasty or hot or both.
Or both. I was about to say both. Yeah. Last night, I came out at 11 o'clock at night, and by the time I got in my car, I was sweating. Either it was sweat or rain.
One of the two, or both.
Or both.
Yeah. So let's talk about who you are. And did you grow up in the area or you just settled here?
So I just settled here. I am originally from North Carolina, Cresswell, North Carolina. No one has ever heard of Cresswell, North Carolina.
North Cackalacky in the house.
Hey, from the 252. So yeah, I originally came from Cresswell, North Carolina. Cresswell is known for Pettigrew State Park, which is a plantation of Cresswell in Washington County. Sometimes when I say Cresswell, I have to also say Plymouth. Oh, you're not familiar with Plymouth, Greenville? Not yet.
Yeah.
Rocky Mount. See?
Yeah, so Rocky Mount. So, okay. Yeah. In my younger college years, I used to go clubbing in Rocky Mount, North Carolina.
At the boat?
No.
The boat ride?
It was some other place. It was a whole barn that they had turned into a club. And it was one of the funnest clubs I ever been to until I went down one time and found out my homeboy had beef with some cats from Chowan College.
Ooh, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it was the funnest club I ever seen. Think of the movie Idlewild in the country, in the backwoods. Like part of the floor wasn't even floor. It was still dirt.
Oh, yeah.
And then it was like a stage, a DJ booth. They had this giant cooler, but it was one of them old coolers they used to put the old bottled sodas in, the glass bottles.
Yes.
And all
you're talking about my hometown, man. That's it.
All you could get at the bar was get a Budweiser, a Bud Light. You could get, if you was highfalutin, you can get a Heineken.
Yeah.
Or Blue Bull 40s, Red Bull 40s, St. Ides, or OE. That was it for the bar selection.
Well, let me tell you, that's a great selection. Those establishments in North Cackalacky are called Hole in the Walls.
Yes.
I love them. Growing up, that's what I did, you know. If it wasn't called a hole in the wall, they would call it the liquor house, the shot house, you know. You get the best fried chicken from a shot house.
Yes.
One way in, one way out. You know, a lot
and
of people
they
don't
give it
think
to you on a
that,
paper plate and a napkin. That's it. That's what you get.
What kind of paper plate? You'll get that slice of bread that you're going to eat.
Right. And sometimes it's still sizzling in your hand, and all you got is a paper plate between you and the chicken.
You don't know life until you bit into a chicken wing and have grease dripping, and then you have to take the bread to the corner
and catch it.
And catch it, because it'll get on your clothes. And that grease, that hole in the wall grease, that's no other grease like that grease. That grease will tear up your clothes. It'll go through that, your undershirt, your undergarments, and everything else, and hit your skin.
Right. And you still gonna try to keep it eating. Little grease ain't slowing me down.
That's it. Mm-mm.
But yeah, those are I used to, at a younger age, I used to travel with a few DJs. And all the clubs and everything we've been to, those little hole in the walls, they get to moving, the building starts breathing, and the wall starts sweating. And it's one we went to. We used to go to in Eastern Shore, and shout out Jack Spade. And we used
Okay.
to drive through the Bay Bridge Tunnel, pay that toll, and just drive and drive. And it was dark, and you'll pull off to the side of the road, and it's again like another great big barn structure. But this one had an age range of 18 to 70 something.
Oh yeah, that's it.
And
That's
everybody
it.
will be there, and that's the only spot to be at.
That's it. Yeah. That's good times, you know. That's why I said a lot of these kids up here up north, they don't understand being able to jam with your auntie and your granddaddy and them
Yeah.
with the songs that they've heard all of their lives. And so then that's a part of you. So then as you grow up, you know, you're not listening to the same type of music, the same genre that other peers are listening to. I love my hole in the wall music.
Yeah.
Tucker,
Yeah.
awesome artist. Awesome.
You get to
Teddy
hear
bear.
everything from R&B to classic R&B.
Yep.
Get your little jazz, a little hip hop, get your splash of reggae, and then you get the what's my man, the side piece guy.
That's it.
Yes.
Me and my side piece.
Yes.
Man,
you get a little bit
as
of
a
side
child,
piece.
you don't understand that.
And that's when the old players come out.
They be like, "Come on, baby."
And they the only ones in there with hard bottom shoes on.
Yes. And then you'll see the young girls ready to be a side piece. And not even knowing it. Not even knowing that they have then said yes to being a side piece. I mean, that was one of my favorite jams. That and Teddy Bear.
Oh yeah. I saw them right before COVID hit at the Coliseum.
Wow. See, and we were trying to make it there, but I think we had another engagement. I think he had to do a catering.
Yes, I was there.
That was it.
It was something to see.
I know it was. I can't wait when this is over and everything is back. Or not even when everything is back. When they have another function, I will be there.
It was grown folks there.
I'm grown enough to be there.
I'm talking about matching fur coats and the fedora match and her purse match, and yeah. And then it'll be custom like baby blue. It was incredible.
Man.
The whole Coliseum smelled like cigars and Hennessy.
That's actually a cologne, probably. Probably.
Yeah, man. But like you said, being able to have that variety of music growing up, you know, and you don't really realize it, but some of them songs gonna get you through some of them hard times.
They will.
These new songs can't get you through no hard times. You need some
I
Lenny Williams. You need to cry.
About. Yeah.
You need to You need to get that out sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes you got to wail. You know, they swore that man did some mighty bad crying on that song. But I know what he went through. I know what Alan Alden was going through because I've been there where all I could do was recently. I needed that. And that helped me, you know. It's very therapeutic. Yeah. Very therapeutic.
Yeah, and they don't know nowadays. They just and all that, you know.
I don't even think that's what they're doing. It's like a I don't know. Are you talking about Rumpelstiltskin? I don't know. I'm unaware.
Yeah, but I do have to say this. At first, I was mad at TikTok, but I'm finding now that TikTok is my musical bridge with my kids.
It is.
Because they're making TikToks out of old songs and remaking new songs like we did, but it's a little bit different, but like we did.
Right.
So they can come to my music, or I could be playing music and they can be like, "Daddy, I know that song." And I'm like, "From where?" TikTok.
Yeah.
They argued me down about the Jodeci "Can I Talk to You" remix.
Now,
And then I had to jump up and get my old man on, like, "No, y'all don't know nothing about no real music. They ain't the real song." I sound just like my dad back in the day. I was so embarrassed.
Yeah, been there. My son swore up and down that Beyonce, the Before I Let Go, he felt
That's
like
the
that was
original
it.
one, right?
I'm like, no. What? Even when you go to a cookout and they even begin to play that, everybody jumps up. You got the seasoned folks that's like, that's my jam. Then you got these young folks, even me sometimes, that be like, oh, I know the part. Hold on. When it gets to the part, I'm ready to do the dance.
Right.
So, I mean, I love that because it was able to bridge that gap with me and my students too. But at the same time, it's just the kids they're not taking it back to say, let me check this out back in the day. Let me get some background information on it. You would think they would jump on it and say, let me check this out.
Because they have the access, they got the access that we didn't have.
Oh yeah, no,
and a lot of people, anybody that knows me knows I've always been a huge music fan, all kinds of music. But I would go to DJ's Records and Tapes, spend all my little weekly allowance there. I would go every Tuesday because that's when the new records came out. And you know, we had, and this is back when you had record stores and people knew your name. It was a dude named Wayne that was the manager there. And I used to come, me and my boys used to come every Tuesday like clockwork, and he'll set things aside for us because he knew we would want it.
Right.
I used to get those. It was a whole experience that they don't have today. You used to get your little tape, because yes, mostly they was tapes back then, and later on CDs, but you get your little tape, you put it in your Walkman, you listen to it, but while you're listening to it, you're going through the liner notes, the little albums, and that's how I found out a lot of my history with my music, where who wrote what and what sample came from where. And then I would write that down and go to the record store with a whole nother list because I wanted to hear the originals, you know. But they don't have that experience anymore because it's just 99 cents, give me the song, and that's it.
That's it. And they don't even take the time to read. Why did the artist come up with this song? Like, you know, what state were you in to come up with these lyrics that address everything I'm going through? I miss that. Opening up the CD and getting that little book out and actually go to paragraph.
Right. And sometimes they'll put extra stuff in it that they want.
And I loved it.
Yeah.
Kids don't realize it. That was good. I felt like I had a connection with that artist because of that.
Yeah.
Because I know that you were dealing with the loss at this time because you had a bad breakup and how bad that man hurt you. Oh yeah, been there, done that. Oh, puppy love. Yeah, I know that. So I love that. That information helped me to just vibe with that artist more. So
yeah, I guess they have their ways. They look up stuff, but to me, it's not the same. And I'm gonna stop because I'm sounding like a mean old man
now. No, not old, seasoned.
Seasoned, like collard greens.
Yeah, like collard greens. Don't nobody want any fresh new meat in their collard greens. They want something seasoned.
All right.
It makes the pot better.
So I want to talk about your relationship with children and what you do.
So I'm a special education teacher. I've been teaching going on 6 years now. I started out in the state of North Carolina, and I had some personal issues to make me say, I need different. I need more. And at that time in North Carolina, I felt that I was that friend to my students, that grandmother that they didn't have, because I would say, yes, baby. That auntie that they needed, you better get it together. That mother that they needed, I wish you would. Don't make me get up. They needed that. Those kids needed that. I didn't have that growing up. Growing up, I had my teachers looking at me side-eye, and I'm thinking, what they think? What you got going on? Are you about to suspend me, or are you about to medicate me? What's going on? So I tried to be what I didn't have growing up as a teacher. And I came to Virginia in 2018. And I really enjoyed it. I really did, because it helped me to find exactly who I was as an educator. I know that I'm not just a special education teacher. I know that I'm also an advocate. I know that I'm a team player, and I don't mind serving. So a lot of people, they don't like that. A lot of teachers, they feel like I do what I do and I hit the clock and I go home. But with me, it's more. What can I do with each child that I have? What kind of relationship can I build with the parent? What are your problems at home? I've been there. Let me talk you through it. I don't want your child to end up like I was, because I was on the road to some terrible stuff as a child, fighting, cussing, trying to cut folks. I mean, my mom said recently, she said, I just can't believe that you became who you are today.
Wow. All right. So that sounds like to me that there was a special teacher in your life. What was your teacher's name? What was the
Well,
one? Because everybody has that one teacher that kind of grabs them and shakes them a little bit and gives them that extra care that they need to help find themselves.
I had quite a few. I was in pre-K and I got sent over to the high school for in-school suspension. I was young. When I tell you, that's why I feel like I vibe more with older people, because people that are older than me, seasoned, I feel like I vibe with them more because that's what I'm used to. In the country, if you didn't do right, they sent you to ISS because your mama won't come in to pick you up. My mama was picking crabs over in Columbia. She ain't had time to pick me up. So they would send me to ISS. My uncle was a janitor. He won't about to take me home. You going to sit in ISS. I sat in ISS, and her name was Miss Bleedinghauser.
Okay.
She was mean, but she understood me, She didn't let me, she wasn't like, come in here, sit down, shut up. What you doing? What are you doing in here? Why did you do that? Think about it. Oh, what happened? What made you do that? So she had me thinking about things, and I would do my work in no time. I didn't need anyone's help. Put it in front of me, knew or what, I could do it. So I've always had that talent to just do it and grasp on. But I didn't want bigger. I was just mean. I was mad. My stepdad didn't want to be with me and my mom anymore. I was angry. So when I got to school, that was my place where I could get the attention that I wanted. So I had people like Miss Bleedinghauser, Miss Sharon Owens, who was another ISS teacher. I had a special education teacher who wasn't even my special education teacher. I got kicked out of the classroom so much that I would go into her classroom and see what she doing. And I was like, you helping them read? Like, what is this? You're cool. What is this? She was like, I'm a special ed teacher. Her name is Shakina McDowell. She yoked me up one day and she better get it together. If you don't, I'm going to hurt you. I was like, whoa. Like, you going to hurt me? I've never had a teacher to get up real and tell me that she going to hurt me if I don't get it together. And that aggression made me say, you know what? She must care for me. I need to get it together. And I mean, she was like the mom in the schoolhouse that I needed. So when I would leave my mom, who worked all these hours, I would go to school just to spend time with her. And I would watch her be a teacher. I would watch her be a SPED teacher. I watched her teach and give emotional support to kids who had IEPs and kids that didn't have IEPs, were just lost and needed someone to talk to. So those are my. And
I think I'm alone for the time where I was lucky enough that a lot of the teachers at my elementary school lived in the same neighborhood. So we had a neighborhood called Camelot, and it was a local elementary school, Camelot Elementary, and a lot of the teachers actually were in the community of Camelot, to the point like walking home, you would see them.
Oh, yeah.
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 I think that is something that, I don't know if it's a way school systems can invest in that, or, some kind of program to bring that back. Because I think when you don't live in the same community as the kids you teach, you can miss connections.
You can, but that causes burnout. That helped me when I moved here, because I lived in that community with my students in Columbia, North Carolina. And when I tell you, school never stopped, work didn't, it never stopped. These kids will come to my house Miss Nola, I'm hungry. What you want, baby? I need this. What you need? I need my hair done. Sit down. Do you got your hair? I mean, I became a mother, and my son didn't have at home, and I felt like that I was on the edge of getting out, but I love these kids, and I never turned my back on them because I had teachers that would see me outside of school. They would be in school, outside of school, and they would keep it moving. They would run because they know that Chanel got a lot to talk about, and I was like, okay, she don't want to talk to me out of school. So I feel that because I needed those parents or those in my community, but as being a teacher in the community with the kids, and maybe because I was the only one, because even my coworkers would be like, "You're feeding these kids? They're home with you?" Like after school, they wouldn't even go home. They would come to my class, and then they would follow my apartment or load up in my car, and we would spend the rest of the evening together. So I think it depends on what you are, what's around you have, and the type of person you have or you are. I mean, it takes so many roles to be a teacher, let alone being a teacher that's doing this after school. I was clocking nights, and kids right there in the classroom doing work, and I'm writing IEPs.
So, do you think that maybe um, it's a need in the rest of the community to kind of take up that slack?
It is. It is. I think people forgot that it takes a village to raise children, to raise a child. So now it's like every man for themselves. We've had so many times the parents say, "That's my child. Don't tell me what to do with my child." If we get back to our roots, where any elder that walks by can correct that child, I don't think we will have as much violence as we have right now. I don't think that our schools would have the that they have now because now kids don't care. I told one of my students, I was like, "You're failing." He was like, "Yeah, I'll do better next year when I get back in the building." You got E's all up and down this report card. Ain't no way. My mama would have done broke my back. Ain't no way. But they're like, "Nah, it's all right." Then I talked to the mom. "I can't do anything until the school open up." Till the school open up. What? It's the whole generation. Is it broke? Don't want to say it's broke, but we got a lot that as a generation that we just need to work on. Parents, teachers, guidance counselors, even our men of God, men and women of God, just bridging the gap with the community and the schools. So,
Yeah, I think it's hard because that extra support isn't there. Like when I was a kid, people with businesses used to put on little talent shows and things for the kids to be a part of, just so they'll have something to do. And you
yeah,
don't have it. And it's like if the city doesn't offer it, it doesn't get offered. It doesn't get done. How do we get more engagement with the local community to provide more resources for these kids?
by partnering up with the nonprofits in the community. I have a nonprofit, I Expect Progress, and that's one of the things that I am going to look into teaming up with a school that will be interested in having a talent show at the end of the year. Because, kids are always busy doing something for the school, playing ball, singing, painting. Okay, do something for yourself. Let's show the highlight of you. And having a talent show, I think that would really help the kids to be able to have something to work for. If I keep good grades, if I stay focused, if I make sure that all my classwork is done, I can actually perform in this talent show in front of my family and friends. So, I mean, having small things like that are just small portions that could get us where we need to be. But the schools sometimes don't want to partner with nonprofits, or they feel like everything is in-house is what they need. But if schools will take time and say, "Look, I need all you nonprofits that's around, come in, show me what you can do for our kids, show me what you can do for our community," that will help bridge the gap.
All right, so you brought it up. Tell me about your nonprofit.
So my nonprofit is I Expect Progress. I provide educational consultations for teachers and professionals in the school system. I also provide advocacy for parents and guardians of students in the school. So whether your child has an IEP, which is an individual education plan, or if they have a BIP, which is a behavior intervention plan, if they don't have anything, if your child is just one that you constantly getting phone calls about, I'm there. I can give you guidance. I can give you support. I can make sure that your child is getting the services that they need. I'm just here to be a voice and to bridge that gap that I've been talking about. Bridging the gap with the community and the schools.
So if somebody, okay, I'm trying to make sure I'm phrasing this right. All right,
Ooh.
so my child is not motivated in school.
Mm-hmm.
And this is
I've been
hypothetical. All right.
right, yeah.
So, because I don't want my kids to be like, Daddy, you was talking about me.
And
No,
that's how they do. Yeah, I
right.
know.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
not talking about y'all this time.
this time.
So, if my child was unmotivated and I knew my child had, was gifted, but just didn't have the right direction, is that something I would call you about?
Yeah. Because then I'm just going to tell you, come on, we got to come up with a plan. Just like in the schools, if you're not giving me the behavior that I want, I need to think of some incentives, rewards, things for you to work for. Just like us, I can be the best employee you need me to be if the coins is right.
Mm.
With children, I can be the best child you need me to be if the incentives is right. Maybe we have to take time and say, what is it that my child wants? If your child has always talked about going to Busch Gardens and you keep saying, well, I ain't got time, I ain't got time. But you can go where you need to go. You can do girls' trips, you can do vacations, but you ain't take the time to say, my child wants to go to Busch Gardens. Maybe I need to give them some incentives, make an actual visual, a board, a chart. How can we work to get there? Talking with your child, saying that I need to just have more one-on-one with you. Before you go home, I need to talk to you. Before you go to sleep, I need to talk to you. Before you go to school, I need to talk to you. That will build a relationship with the child and the parent, while it will also help with the behaviors that are in school. Because as a teacher, what can I offer your child? I just tried to bribe one of my students earlier this year. I was like, if you do good, I can get you an Amazon gift card. I thought she would be like jumping over heels. I would have been like, what do you need me to do? She was like, my mom, she orders from Amazon, but I don't know. It's just my mom always orders anyway. So what can I do? I'm a nobody. Your parents can get more out of you, but as parents, we don't feel that way.
Mhm.
Sometimes, we don't understand how much a child needs us or what they need from us. So I just, go in, provide emotional support, link you up with possible therapists, any other professionals that you might need. Sometimes a child could be going through and need someone else to talk to.
Mhm.
And if you put them in therapy, a lot of people are like, ain't nothing wrong with my kids. They don't need therapy. Everybody can use therapy.
And
I,
especially with us in the brown community, I'm glad that now there is a movement to
yes.
normalize therapy. I grew up in the house and my father ended up being a psych nurse. And I got to see it from behind the curtain. And
Mm-hmm.
it ain't always about, somebody such and such is crazy.
Right.
Sometimes you just need a different set of advice that you've been getting because that same old
That's
advice hadn't been working out too well.
that's right. And sometimes just hearing it from a professional. Um, I could tell some of my students something, and their mom is like, I've been telling him this for the longest. What makes you and me any different? I'm just a different person that he
Mm-hmm.
needed at that time. He was able to, confess to me some things that was going on, consult with me on some things and some actions that he might need to take. And so now, me being the teacher, I'm gonna let you know what he's talking about. Now, a therapist ain't gonna do that, but just talking to someone, getting that off your chest, That helps so many kids. I mean, even if you look at mass shooters, who do they have to talk to? If anyone knew that they had someone to talk to, they wouldn't have done it. You know, someone would have said, wait a minute now, it's a little too extreme, John. Let's back
Right.
up. But being able to say, well, you know what I'm going through. I hate how our country is doing this. I hate how I can't get benefits to help me after I done fought this war. Okay, well, what benefits do you need? I know somebody. I can link you up with somebody. Let's find a nonprofit. Let's find some business or some other organizations that can help, you know? So closed mouths don't get fed. And that's very true. If you don't talk about what you need, you're never going to get it. You're never going to get it. So
So, who is your ideal client? Is it the parent or is it the student?
the parent.
Mhm.
The parent is my ideal client because I want to be on your side. When you go, or when some parents go to an IEP meeting, um, let me set the tone. You go into this meeting, into this room, it's nothing but chairs, and you see some papers, and you have a general ed teacher that teaches math. You have a special education teacher who's supposed to help your child to be able to keep up with the rigor of being in school. You have a principal, you have a guidance counselor, you have probably a speech pathologist, and you might even have a behavior specialist. You have all these people sitting on one side of the table, and you sitting on your side, or they're surrounding you. And so you feel overwhelmed because you're telling me about what my child can do. Majority of the IEP talks about what the child cannot do. Why? Because we have to be able to provide strengths or strategies or resources to help your child to be able to do what they can do. So I would be that person sitting next to mom, dad, grandma, auntie, foster mom, foster dad, whoever has this child. Okay, so they're saying this, but this is what this means. This doesn't mean your child is stupid. This means that your child just needs a little bit more time to process stuff. This means that your child might just need visuals. This means that your child might just need a break every 15 minutes. Who doesn't? Sometimes I need a break every 15 minutes. So just being that person there that's not attacking the people that are attacking the parent or attacking the parent. I'm working with the parent and them to make sure that she understands or they understands, and so that the process can be smoother. So that the parent isn't out in the community saying, you know what, they don't care about kids because they be doing this and doing that and doing this and doing that. And I don't even understand what they're talking about. 9 times out of 10, when you talk to a parent who has a child with an IEP, they don't understand any of the information that they were provided at the meeting. So what do we have presenting our brown kids at the IEP? Ending. So then you get a call from the case manager, and the case manager is like, well, I just want to go over what the IEP is. Okay, well, did it change? No. Is services going to change? No. Okay, well, I consent.
Mm-hmm.
What? You don't know what this IEP says. That your child will never walk across a stage to graduate. I can say that we're not going to give him an actual diploma. He's going to get a certificate. Are you sure you want to give your consent over the phone without actually looking at this document?
So you're like representation.
Yes, I'm the
You're
representation,
you're
but
the
not a lawyer.
IEP attorney.
Look, kinda, but you don't want to say attorney
Right.
because if you don't do something right, they're ready to sue you.
Right.
Yeah, I'm the friend that you need to have. I'm the companion that you might need, the partner that you might need to help you make good decisions or to make sure that the school is making the best decisions for your child.
Which we need a lot more of.
Yeah. Yeah, we do. Because back in my time, the teacher told my mom she needs medicine. She needs an IEP. My mama, well, back then, that was back then, so I could say this now. My mama cussed that woman out. She said,
Statue
ain't nothing wrong with my
statue of
child.
limitation is up right now, so it's cool.
Yeah, right. My mama was like, what? My child don't need nothing. Ain't nothing wrong with her. She's smart. Okay. She's smart. She don't need this. But little did my mom know I needed someone to talk to
Mm-hmm.
because the divorce that they were dealing with, I couldn't handle it as a child. I needed someone to understand that I can't sit still. I needed someone to understand that when I talk, yeah, I talk with my hands because on the outside, you see me talking, you see me being able to flow the information you need. But on the inside, I'm like, get it out, get it out, get it out. So it's like, I needed that, you
Right.
know? Anyone with ADHD or anxiety, while just talking on the inside, I'm screaming and yelling all this information. But with me being able to flow my hands and me being able to talk with you, it's able to just keep it calm, cool, collect, tell you what's going on, but still have that crazy party going on in my head. So we need it.
Yeah.
People need it.
Yeah. All right. So confession. My first major in school was early childhood education.
Ooh, wow. And why did you not stick with that?
Two reasons. Reason number one is so my mom's a teacher, and she taught for
Oh,
over 30 years. Um,
I believe that. I can see it. She has that aura.
yes, yes.
I'm an educator.
She
You gonna
old
learn
school.
today.
Yes, yes. Or she'll throat choke you like Darth Vader too. But
That's
anyway,
it. That's it. This is a powerful just to take right up in there.
right.
Just
So
get it
reminds
together.
you.
Yeah, you be like, never mind.
So I watched her teach, and like you, I've had my set of favorite teachers, and I wanted to be somebody's favorite teacher. But education changed a lot.
It has.
And I found the frustration of, because I did student teaching and everything. I found the frustration of not actually being able to teach before I became a teacher. Because now
Mm,
everything's so tied down to, the standardized testing. There's no room. Like some of my favorite teachers, when things happen, they would scrap the lesson and talk about what's happening so you can deal with that, so you can kind of help better process. Like when the space shuttle crashed, like we was
yeah.
all watching it and poof, right?
Wow.
So at
Yeah.
that time, teachers had to stop right then and there and kind of redo their whole lesson plans. I mean, a lot of things that happened in history, I remember it because I was able to bring it up in history class. Um, and that's just not available anymore. It is, but it's harder because
It is.
everything is so standardized, test focused. I
Yeah.
also, during my college years, ended up getting a job in IT, and I kind of ended up making more money than I would have made as a teacher.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
was like, why am I going back to school again?
All right. Yeah.
And so I kind of followed that path too. But I'm very active, especially in my kids' school. I'm so active. I come in the building and other kids start calling your daddy in the building. So I'm very active in their education and just being seen because a lot of
Yeah.
times that needs to be done. And I realized that there's other kids that need to see me there too.
Yes.
So I'm really into being seen at my kids' school. Like they know, and teachers know they're going to at least meet with me at least once or twice a year, and I will pop up during the day.
That's it. But and you're so right. That is what they need. Not only just because you're a parent, but with you being a African American dad, a
Mm-hmm.
lot of kids don't have a dad. So just seeing that, he cares. When I grow up, I'm gonna be like him. I'm gonna care about my kids. I'm gonna come and check on my child.
And
That right
they'll
there
come up
is
to
what.
you. You can tell
Yeah.
what a child needs because they'll come up to you and just sit down and talk, and then John be like, "Why are they taking on my daddy time?"
Oh,
I'll be like, "Well, child, you got to calm down. They may not have the same thing you have, and vice versa."
that's
So
right.
I like doing that, but like you're right, it's they need and not and also the teachers need to know that there's somebody that cares in this child's life, so they
Yes,
know when they call and have issues and talk to you that you're going to at least hear them out and not just take the kid's side all the time.
that's right. That's right.
And from
Because
growing up
that's
in a
another problem.
household of an educator, I again, it was one of the things I got to see both sides of the situation.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's hard, because that was my mom. My mom held me down through it all. I mean, everything that my teacher said I did, I did. And my mom knew it when I got home. She was like, "And you did it." I said, "Yeah." She said, got me out here looking like a fool. But she held me down. But why did she do it? Because she didn't have anyone to hold her down as a child. So see, it all backpedals to another person's childhood. She didn't have that. The teachers treated her any type of way that they wanted to because her grandmother was her overseer at the time. Grandmas wasn't coming out to the school if they were doing good. They were only coming out to the school to set them straight and go right back home in that house coat. So, I mean, everything just goes back to someone's childhood of why they do what they do.
Yeah,
So with you doing that in your son's life, that is helping him to be an awesome man and an awesome father.
I think that too, that if you don't show up or not available, times the teachers will call, they'll think about, nah, well, call for what? They ain't gonna show up, they ain't gonna say nothing, they gonna do nothing. So then your
Yeah.
kid gets lost again.
Through those cracks, and those cracks are getting bigger and bigger by the day. You know, they'll say the child get lost through the cracks. Honey, it's like a hole right now. It's like a dead hole in the in the ocean where it's like a big old deep hole. That's what it's like right now. Because if I'm constantly calling you, constantly reaching out, you're not responding. By October, I'm like, okay, I know this parent. She ain't gonna pick up. By March, after spring break or spring break rolling around, oh Lord, they're gonna come back on 1,000, and the parent ain't gonna do nothing. And so it's just a repeat through the grades. And then what is the teacher telling the next teacher? And so then the next teacher is carrying on that same thing. They don't care. She don't care. Over time, it looks like the parent truly don't care. So
Yeah, and it could be, you know, I'm a single parent, so I understand the struggle.
yeah,
And I know that you got things going on and you got to work, but I don't know. It's like my parents did it, other parents did it. You can still work, take care of your kid. I know it's not making excuses for anybody, but
right.
you have to be involved in some kind of way.
You have to. You have to. But if we don't,
Nola, you
I'm
there?
sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, it cut me out. But if we don't hold the parents responsible, who will? You know, as a parent, being a single mom, I was a single mom for 9 years. And when I tell you that those teachers were tired of me, I would leave my school, tell my principal, I got to go handle this. And if my principal say, you want to just leave during the day? Don't you want me to go and do what you want these parents to come out here and do? Let me set the tone. Let me set the example. Yeah, I'll be back. They'll be okay. You got a TA. Somebody sit with them. Let me go get him right real quick. And that's what I would do. I will pop up. Christian, no, I will pop up. I will be peeping through your window. Like they say, peeping through the bushes. I'm peeping through your window. Where you at? Oh, you talking? Come here. That's what you need. Because if you don't do that, you know, then the kids are gonna, then you wonder why these kids are out here in the streets, disrespecting the elders, killing them, robbing them. Ain't no way. I can't even look an older person or an elderly lady in her face and try to cuss her out. It's I don't have that in me. Why? Because my mom instilled that. And so for me to see how she acted as a woman, I couldn't do that. But then you have these kids that don't see their parents interact with anyone, or if they do, they're cussing, they're fussing, they're drinking, they're throwing stuff, you know, so that's how they react. I feel like I almost got off kilter there.
No, that's okay. I mean, we all have stuff to work on.
Yeah,
It's a known thing. I'm working on my. I'm a cusser. I'm trying to work on that.
that's hard.
I'm trying to work on it, and it seems like they always want to push that button. They know how to sit right on that button and just massage that button.
They do.
And then
They
they see
do.
you working on yourself, and I try to go into my inner. Then they cross
Yeah.
that line, and then I just gotta let it out.
Yeah, yeah, you got to. I mean, where I'm not about to take it there. Because I was about to say, where in the Bible does it say that I can't give a cuss word or two to straighten this child out? A couple of cuss words straighten me out.
Right.
Whoa, did she call me that? She ain't playing. Let
Right.
me sit down. You know what I'm saying? All that trying to do that positive parenting, I've tried it so hard. But, you know, growing up, I know what I needed.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes that's you better sit, you better. That had me right.
Mm-hmm.
And with these kids now, they want you to use positive rewording, instead of stop running. Let's not run. Like what? Let's not run.
Okay, I'm confessing now.
Go ahead.
My son was acting up in the grocery store,
Hmm.
and I snatched him up by his little collar
That's it.
and was about to give it to him. And the lady that worked at the store was like, sir, could you not do that here? So then I put him down and I turned around and gave her my attention.
Hmm.
And I said, look, lady, he acted up here. He's going to get it here.
Yeah.
Because I don't want ladies like you calling the police on him when he do something when I'm not around.
That's it.
So I suggest you turn around and mind your own business for this jump on you.
That's
and then
it.
I turned right around and she clutched her pearls and she left.
I don't care. You and your pearls can go right on about your business, because I'd rather do this now than for you to see his face plastered all over the news because he done killed somebody.
Because the moment he come in the store shoplifting, you're going to be the first one to call on his black butt.
First one.
I felt threatened.
Yeah.
And now my son dead over a candy bar.
Over a candy bar. You're right. Locked up over a misunderstanding when I could have corrected him, but you stopped me. No. I remember I was teaching in North Carolina. I love being in the South. And I had a Hispanic dad. And his English was very broken. But he knew when I was calling because his son had done something he ain't had no business. So the other teachers would call him and they would just be like, I don't understand what he's saying, so I'm just not going to call him. I'm going to just keep letting him act out. Why let him act out and not get what he need because you don't understand what his dad says? Let me call him. I called him. I said, come to the school immediately. Emergency. He came to the school. He said, what happened? What's going on? I said, he been acting out. He was cussing at the teacher. I said, that's bad. I said, if he cussing at him now, when he get older, he's going to do the same thing. And I told him, I said, you tell your daddy what I'm saying. And his daddy looking at him like, you better not lie. You better tell me exactly what she was saying. And he said, I need to beat him right now. I said, go in my classroom. Go in my classroom.
I had one of them before.
Man, have you ever been beat and you going to look up and see the same posters that you got to look at every day? Every time I look at that poster, I remember that I got that beating in that classroom. Am I going to act out? No. Is he going to act right for me when I tell him to stop now? Yes. Because if I just hold my phone up, he's like, oh, she's probably calling my dad. Let me sit down. And that boy lined up. He did what he needed to do to get out of middle school because of that one time that I called his daddy and said, you get on him. And yes, you're going to get on him here. Don't wait till he gets home. Get on him here right now. If you're doing something wrong, if you kill somebody, they're not going to let you go home and get it together and sleep it over and then come lock you up. They chasing you down like a dog right now to get you. So why can't we go ahead and make sure that our children know that what they did was wrong in that moment, in that location, in that place, Go ahead.
I think statute of limitations is up. And I ain't going to say what I did, but I did something in school. And the principal called my mother. And okay, so my mom, being a teacher, had a standing house rule that if the school called, I don't care what they calling for, it's an automatic whooping.
Oh, yeah.
Because two things. First of all, my mom worked for the same school system that I went to. So we all know, black parents had this rule, you're not going to embarrass me at my job.
That's it.
So it just so happens that me going to school is her job. So it was double. Not only what I did in school, I embarrassed her at her job. So it was a standing rule. If they call, you got to whoop it. As many nights I've tried to unplug the phone or take one of them off because I knew what it was about to be. I was in school and I did something I shouldn't have did. I'm going to leave it at that. The principal called my mother in the middle of the day. My mama showed up like Miss Sealy. Not Miss Sealy, Miss Sophia.
Sophia. Yes, sir.
Yes, and stomp through that thing. Like you remember the scene in Color Purple when she was pulling back the corn?
She was tearing them corn stalks down. She was getting to where she had to go. I feel her.
I couldn't even snatch me up so fast. I couldn't even say nothing. Drag me out the class and did what she had to do in the hallway.
That's it. That's it. Cause you a teacher kid.
That was the last time the school ever had a call about me.
You learn.
She got me so good. Now, usually if you get caught in school, people gonna talk about you.
Yes.
She got me so good, Slam didn't even exist because kids didn't even want to talk about it because it was traumatic for them.
Wow.
I never ever had to answer a question about it. It never got brought up. The teacher said the whole classroom had an attitude adjustment.
Oh yeah.
That's how good she got me.
Yeah, Mama wasn't playing. I kind of wish that was kind of bad. I even remember that the principals used to paddle us.
Yeah. I think I was the last generation that happened. Our principal had and rows of paddles. Dr. Powell was her name. And you always know these teachers' names. I will never, ever forget Dr. Powell's name. Dr. Powell had, depending on what grade you were in and what you did, depend on which paddle you got paddled from.
Oh, see, yeah, he was built like that.
She was built like that.
Oh, she
was about 5'1", and she had paddles bigger than her.
Oh yeah. I had a Mr. Parrington, and like I said, I've been getting in trouble since I was in pre-K, and it seemed like I was the only girl. I don't know. I was so bold, but I was the only girl always to get in trouble, and they would line us up, and God is good because I was the last one. So instead of him getting me, my uncle came up. Mm-hmm. I'm used to his paddles. So when he got me, and he was a janitor, he wasn't playing. When he got me, I knew it was all right, and I knew it was out of love. I never wanted anyone else to do it because I felt like that they would just go in because I knew I was rude. I knew I was very disrespectful. So I was like, ooh, I'd rather for him to beat me any day than any of these other people I done cussed out. And Mr. Parrington ain't never had to hit me, but he hit all them boys before me. And then my uncle came. I was like, yes. But then he beat me. He took me into the teacher's lounge and got me. I was like, man, he ain't missed that. Yeah. I've been paddled by him twice in my educational career.
And it didn't kill us. It didn't kill us.
It didn't. It made me strong. It made me strong, and it made me the parent that I need to be with my child, my children.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to wrap it up, and I always end all of my episodes this way. If a young Nola came and asked you for life advice, what would you tell her?
Ooh. I would say, love yourself. You are enough. And just enjoy your life. Stop trying to show out for others. Stop trying to fight for everybody. Just live your life. Take it one day at a time.
Awesome. Now, how can everybody catch you? What's your social media, websites? How can they get down with the nonprofit? Go.
So you can hit us up on our webpage at www.iexpectprogress.org. iexpectprogress.org. That will, give you all the information you need. It'll take you to our YouTube channel. It'll take you to our Facebook and our Instagram. That's kind of bare, but we're getting there. So yeah, you can just hit us up on our website. You can reach me on my Facebook. It should be my personal site, but I'm an open book. So I'm up there, Chanel Shoulders. Chanel is my middle name, Chanell. So that's it.
I want to thank you for taking your time out today. This is the 757 Renaissance Man. You can reach us now at 757renaissanceman.com. and you can get all the things. You can get the video, the audio. Please leave us a message or even a voicemail. Nola, thank you so much for coming through and having a conversation with me today. I so appreciate you.
I appreciate you. I love what you're doing. So I'm happy to be a part of the movement.
No problem. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 757 Renaissance Man. I'm Sean. That's Nola, and we out.
Bye.